Indeed, it was a historic event as the Nigerian Police Force partnered with the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs (NIIA) for a two-day symposium themed the Nigeria Police and the Peace Process in Africa. On arrival at the venue, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Adeolu Egbetokun, was warmly received by top-ranking senior police officers and other distinguished dignitaries. Addressing participants, IGP Egbetokun described peacekeeping as a strategic investment in global stability rather than an act of charity, reaffirming the Nigeria Police Force's unwavering commitment to peace and security operations in line with global best practices.
Profound honor to address this distinguished assembly of diplomats, scholars, policymakers, security professionals, and international partners at the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs. I commend the Institute for convening this timely conference at a moment when the global peace and security architecture is undergoing profound transition and reassessment. Peacekeeping, as envisioned in the founding ideals of the United Nations and reaffirmed within the African peace and security architecture of the African Union, remains both a moral imperative and a strategic necessity. It is not merely the absence of armed conflict, but the deliberate construction of conditions that allow human dignity, democratic governance, development, and justice to flourish. For Nigeria, peacekeeping has never been a peripheral undertaking. It's a core expression of our commitment to multilateralism, international solidarity, and responsible global citizenship. For the Nigerian Police Force, it represents a professional vocation sustained over 6 decades of consistent engagement. Nigeria's engagement in international peace operations began immediately after independence in 1960. Nigerian police officers were deployed to the United Nations operations in the Congo, now the Democratic Republic of Congo, marking one of Africa's earliest police contributions to UN peacekeeping. Since that pioneering deployment, the Nigerian Police Force has maintained uninterrupted participation in peace support operations under the United Nations, the African Union, and the Economic Community of West African States. Nigerian police officers, men and women, have served with distinction across West, Central, East, Southern, and North Africa, as well as Europe, Asia, and Caribbean, and the Middle East. Our operational footprint spans missions in Liberia, Sierra Leone, Mali, Cote d'Ivoire, Guinea-Bissau, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Sudan, Darfur, South Sudan, Somalia, Burundi, Abyei, Angola, Namibia, Mozambique, Western Sahara, Bosnia, Herzegovina, Kosovo, Haiti, Cambodia, Afghanistan, and other theaters of fragility and transition. The deployment of Nigeria's first formed police unit in 2004 marked a doctrinal shift from observer roles to robust, mandate-driven policing. This evolution aligned Nigeria's contribution with the changing operational demands of contemporary peacekeeping, particularly in public order management, protection of civilians, and stabilization operations.
Reacting to the Inspector General's dedication and commitment to duty, the Director General of the Nigerian Institute of International Affairs, Professor Egosa Osagai, described the Nigerian Police Force as an institution with a strong international reputation, citing its consistent participation in peacekeeping missions across the globe from Nigeria's independence in 1960 to date.
Peacekeeping operations in the Congo, the Nigerian Police Force was there along with the Nigerian Army. Not many people know that. In far-flung places, including places that would not ordinarily occur to you, such as, for instance, East Timor, or Kosovo, or Somalia that you know very well, or Sudan, or the Czech Republic, or think of the kinds of places that have been boiling points in the world, including Haiti. The Nigerian police has been there, doing things that are extraordinary in furtherance of the pursuit of international peace security, and prosperity. So it's not only when we are able to sleep well in Nigeria, it's also when they're able to sleep well in Liberia, and in Sierra Leone, and in Kosovo. They remember the Nigerian police force. I think the only police force that would be close to the Nigerian police in terms of its peacekeeping operations would be the police of India. That's the closest that comes to Nigeria. And our officers that have been in these peacekeeping operations have done so well that you will find that many of them have ended up as commanding officers, either for the UN, that is the United Nations, or the African Union, or even for ECOWAS. So I think the Nigerian police will deserve a round of applause. They deserve a round of applause.
Meanwhile, the chairman of the occasion, Dr. Adewale Adebayo, highlighted the historical development of the Nigeria Police Force, noting that effective policing of any society requires political stability, sound laws, adequate funding, as well as continuous training and retraining of personnel.
Police is a reflection of the development of Nigeria. And I'm happy that it happened in Lagos, because Nigerian police started in Lagos in 1861 as the consular guard. And it's also important that as we metamorphose in our society, the police morphs with us. We started Nigeria as a trading post for the British interests, and the police reflected the need for peace in trade. And so from the beginning, the Nigerian police has always been international, because most of the companies that were coming to Nigeria to trade, the Niger area at that time, only relied on the safety of the coast. That was why we set up the Marine Police. So at a time in this country, we also needed to keep the peace. And the Hausa Constabulary, which later morphed into the army, was the police as well. And in 1930, when the Nigerian police became the Nigerian Police Force on April 1st, 1930, it reflected the attempt by the colonial government to work towards independence for us. And when we got independence in 1960, by 1964, Louis Edet became our IG. So what it means is that the Nigerian police is at the shadow of Nigeria, traveling with us.
In conclusion, Professor Osagai announced plans to establish an international center for peacekeeping and policing aimed at fostering stronger collaboration and effective partnerships between both institutions. The high point of the event was the presentation of an award to the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Adeolu Egbetokun, in recognition of the significant achievements recorded under his leadership. In Lagos, Joy Odutara reporting for Newsbuster TV.